Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's gist is one that's been quietly building in the background, but is now impossible to ignore. Social media clues people may have missed about Maurice and Pearl Wats. Now this isn't one of those loud, obvious stories where everything is clearly laid out. This is different. This is the kind of situation where nothing is directly confirmed, yet somehow, people keep finding little details that seem to point in a certain direction. And that's exactly why this conversation has taken off. Because when fans start noticing patterns, small, subtle, almost easy to miss moments, it doesn't take long before those moments begin to feel like something bigger. So instead of rushing through it, let's slow things down and really unpack what people are seeing, why these clues are getting so much attention, and what they might actually mean. Now first, let's talk about the nature of social media itself. Social media isn't just about posting anymore. It's about storytelling, whether intentional or not. Every post, every caption, every appearance becomes part of a larger narrative. And when two people are constantly being observed by thousands of eyes, even the smallest detail can spark a conversation. And that's exactly what's happening here. Fans have started pointing out certain moments, things that, on their own, might seem completely normal. But when viewed together, they begin to feel connected. For example, timing. One of the biggest things people have noticed is how Maurice and Pearl Wats seem to appear online around similar times. It might not be the exact same post or even the same platform, but the consistency is what catches attention. To some, that suggests coordination. To others, it's just coincidence. But once that pattern is noticed, it becomes hard to ignore. Then there's location hints. Fans believe they've spotted similarities in backgrounds, places that look familiar, settings that seem too close to be random. It could be a similar interior, a recognizable outdoor space, or even lighting that feels consistent across different posts. Again, none of this proves anything on its own. But when people start connecting these details, it begins to feel like a puzzle coming together. Now let's talk about interactions. This is where things get even more interesting. Even when there's no direct confirmation, fans pay close attention to how people engage with each other online. Likes, comments, subtle responses. These small actions can carry a lot of weight when people are looking for meaning. Sometimes it's not even what's said, it's how it's said. A simple emoji, a short reply, even silence in certain moments. All of these things get analyzed, interpreted, and discussed. And once again, what might seem small becomes significant. Now here's another layer, energy. This is harder to define, but it's something fans often talk about. The idea that two people just seem more comfortable, more natural, more in sync over time. Maybe it's how they speak around each other. Maybe it's their body language. Or maybe it's just a feeling people pick up on. And while energy isn't something you can measure or prove, it's often one of the strongest reasons people believe something is going on. But here, where we need to pause for a second. Because while all of these observations are interesting, they all share one thing in common. They are based on interpretation, not confirmation. And that distinction is everything. Now let's talk about why people might feel like these clues were missed. Reality. Many of these details weren't completely overlooked. They just didn't seem important at first. It's only after a narrative begins to form that people go back and re-examine old posts, old videos, and old interactions. And suddenly, things that once felt ordinary start to look meaningful. That's how patterns are built. Not always because something new happened, but because people started looking at old things differently. Now let's address the big question. Does all of this mean Maurice and Pearl Wats are in a relationship? The honest answer is, we still don't know. Because no matter how many clues people think they've found, there has been no official confirmation from either side. No announcement. No clear statement. No direct acknowledgement. And without that, everything remains in the realm of speculation. Now, that doesn't mean fans are wrong to notice things. It just means that noticing something and proving something are two very different things. And that's where balance comes in. It's okay to be curious. It's okay to analyze. It's okay to have opinions. But it's also important to recognize the limits of what we actually know. Because sometimes patterns are real. And sometimes they're created by the way we connect information. Now let's also talk about why stories like this become so engaging. People love a mystery. People love a slow reveal. And most of all, people love the idea of discovering something before it's officially confirmed. It makes them feel involved. It makes them feel like they're part of the story. And that's exactly what's happening here. Fans aren't just watching, they're participating. They're collecting clues, sharing theories, comparing observations, and building a narrative together. And whether that narrative turns out to be true or not, the process itself is what keeps everyone invested. So where does that leave us? Right now, we have a collection of observations, timing, locations, interactions, and energy that fans believe could be pointing toward something deeper. But we do not have confirmation. And until something official is shared, the most accurate way to describe all of this is simple. These are clues, not proof. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think these social media patterns actually mean something? Or do you believe people are just connecting dots that don't really lead anywhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy these deep dives, where we slow things down and really break everything apart instead of just reacting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Because sometimes, the biggest stories aren't the ones that are announced. They're the ones people think they've already figured out.